And we're back, surprise. Because guess what? We're running some technical difficulties, something so common nowadays. But we are here to deliver the wow factor. So who better than Nefertiti San Miguel? She's going to just do it all over again with sound this time. Because um, the silent movie didn't work.
Well, we
They went
went
out of
like
business.
silent movie style.
Okay, so we're here. I give it to you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is round two, and we were going a little bit retro and vintage kind of silent movie style. So I apologize for the lack of audio, but these things happen sometimes in the virtual world, so we gracefully manage. And here I am delivering a round two of War Factor. So I have to twist things around a little bit because in the first presentation I undid the wrapping that I had as a part of my segment. So now I'm going to kind of reverse engineer it for you. And let's back up for a moment. Nice to see you all round two now with some audio. My name is Nefertiti San Miguel. I am a mixed media artist and I'm very passionate about dropping off that wow factor. I'm based out of Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm delighted to spend some quality time with my friend New Yorker. She came all the way from Sunshine State to host this event in my hometown. So I'm super thrilled not only to have her, but get the opportunity to meet new people and new audience and bond with all of you. So let's get into this wow factor business. I call it the power of seven, and I'm just going to run through those different categories and what, to my perception, makes it the wow factor. So, when you are wanting to make an everlasting impression, you have to be mindful of few things happening. And this is going to be a multi-sensory experience. So you have to keep that in mind when you are going to be presenting a gift, extending an invitation. You want to have a little courtesy with somebody who have been good to you, or whatever the case might be. So I call it the power of seven, and that's like the magic potion for the wow factor. It's the unexpected, and I highlight that because when things are being expected, it's just part of the environment. A birthday, a holiday, an anniversary. So it's nice to get with the occasion, but keep in mind that you have to compete with a lot of people doing gifts and presentations as well. But if you come up from the point of view of this is just a because I feel like it, and you make it upon yourself to bring that special occasion to the scene, then you're bringing the unexpected. That is going to get you advanced already into the wow factor. The other thing is creativity, novelty, also generosity, and I always stress this out. The generosity doesn't have to be high dollars and cents. It has to do with being mindful of paying attention to details and just having that intention out to the universe and the recipient. So you can look very affluent with very little budget, and it has to do again with the perception and what you put out and how you present it. The other component for the wow factor is knowing your recipient. That is so critical and important because I heard this from somebody. This is no my line, but I thought that it would be appropriate. It doesn't matter how expensive is the steak, don't offer it to a vegan person. The same thing is when you are doing a gift. Don't randomly pick something that is not going to match the personality of the recipient. So, on that note, just pay attention what the person likes, what is the hobby that they engage, what are their passions, what are the things that make them smile. So, based on that, make some notes, and just be on the lookout for those opportunities for you to show off not only your skill on listening and paying attention, but to bring that wow factor to the interaction. Also, I made a little note here so we can follow along. We already talked about the unexpected. Then creativity is very important because that's going to showcase not only your personality, but how much intention and effort you are putting into that presentation, that interaction. Then novelty, because there's nothing sexy about doing everything like everybody else. So please be creative, go into novelty mode, look into other cultures, what's happening in the rest of the world, step outside your regular environment and bring something new to the scene. Then we have charming presentation, that's my specialty, and the attention to detail, generosity. And again, this is a multi-sensory experience. So it's not the same if you want to go to a party, and even if it's just like a college student party, and show up with a cheap bottle of wine in a paper bag and just hand it out, there's nothing sexy about that. Please stop it. So you can get a bandana, you can get even a pillowcase and be creative. So I'm going to give you a quick show and tell how to look like $1 million with a $3.99 bottle of wine. So you get a square piece of fabric, and I'm going to make some room here. You place it kind of on a diamond shape, get the bottle of wine in the center, bring up the corners. And the cool thing about this is that there are not too many people doing something like this. It's eco-friendly, it's sustainable, it's a conversation piece, makes you look like $1 million, and you're going to be the talk of the party. I guarantee you that. Also, you don't have to worry about messing up the paper and getting all the extra unwanted wrinkles. There's nothing that can go wrong when you're using textiles for the gift wrapping. So you bring the corners, have a grip on the neck of the bottle. Very simple, no tape involved. Get a rubber band, put it on top, and then do a couple of passes. Then you have the four corners, and you're just gonna be creative. So you're gonna get one corner, bring it in, and hide it underneath the rubber band. So that gives you a little bit of texture and volume. Then you get the other one and tuck it in. So you hide the top of the bottle, because again, it's all about attention to detail and hiding the mechanics. You have two other pieces here. You can overlap them. You can twist and make a little bit of extra volume and texture and keep tucking in with the rubber band. You have the other one here. And the beautiful thing about this is that not only you're going to look like $1 million, but you cannot go wrong with it, because it doesn't matter which way the fabric behaves, there's no way to screw it up. So here you are, have a beautiful presentation, and nobody's going to think that this was a $3.99 bottle of wine. Also, on that note, it's scientifically proven that perception makes a whole world of difference. There have been studies, case studies, where you take the cheapest wine on the planet, you pour that wine into three different bottles. One that is supposed to be high-end and well-known label, a medium type of wine, and the cheap wine. And we're talking the same three bottles are going to have the same low-end material, the wine. And it's all in the presentation. People have tried the three different supposedly the three different wines from the three different bottles, and the mind is already set to have that perception. Oh, this one it tastes much better because it's from this vineyard or this vintage. When in reality, behind the scenes, they have placed the same cheap wine in all three bottles. So take advantage of that, and you know how to look affluent and very generous with a very little budget. Another thing that you can do is play with words. So let's say that you want to make somebody smile and they're having a little bit of a rough time. Well, you can get a little greeting card, make a little note, handwritten note, of course, make them feel like $1 million, and add a little something to the presentation. And let's say that you get this bookmark, which is a musical note, and you attach it to the card that you're going to give to your friend or your colleague, or it can be a thank you note or whatever the case might be. And then you can add a little something saying, and on the happy note, I was thinking about you. And you're going to look like a rock star, because mind and brain goes in one direction. Whatever you bring to the conversation, your mind is going to go there. So if the person is having a rough time and you are telling them, and on the happy note, the rest got put aside. Rest assured, it's going to be on the happy note. So be mindful about the environment, be mindful about the words that you bring into the conversation, because that's exactly where your brain goes, even if you say, don't go there. So pay attention. Let's say that you are going to reimburse money to a friend because they pay a bill, or you have to reimburse maybe your housemate for utilities. Don't just hand them the money with an attitude like, oh, I have to give money away. No, be charming about it. Appreciate what you are getting in exchange for that money. So this red envelope, it's called lucky envelope. It's Asian culture, and it's red with a beautiful gold print on the calligraphy. And you're being mindful. You present something like this, even if it's just a tip to somebody or a money gift, and it's going to bring the presentation to a different level. And it goes with better vibes and better intentions. And I believe that what you put out to the universe is going to come back to you, circle around, and always multiply. So don't complain about money going out of your pocket. Think on what is that value resemble in that currency going out of your pocket. Be appreciative of it, and do what Japanese people call it happy money. So this is one idea of happy money. Let's say that you are going to send a check, which that have been recently the case for me, paying for education. And I am attending a higher program in Ikebana, which is my passion. And when we have the specialty workshops, I have to pay for the materials and the tuition. So instead of mailing a check in a regular envelope and nothing else to it, just a check, I take the time to add a little extra. So this is a wallet, but it's like a paper wallet, recycled paper. And it has the print from Japanese art. So you can rest assured that if you put the check here with your registration form, and this is true story, and you send it to the event host, and that gets to the hands of that recipient, not only they're going to remember you forever, but also they're going to have certain concessions that it can get you very far when it's a sold out event in the future. I am a living proof of that. I have a name, I have a reputation, and I am able to get a lot almost with murder. because I put the charm out and then I ethically bribe people. And I have Nurka here, she can testify to that, but that's a different story for another day. Another way that you can dazzle people, let's say that you have a book and you are going to be interviewed at a podcast. Maybe you are trying to get the attention of that podcast host and you want to send them your publication. Well, just don't send the book plain and flat, add a little bit of wow factor. So I'm going to be using the recent publication from my dear friend Nurka here, Venture into the Everglades. And this is true fact. This is happening, not exactly with this wrapping, but we're going to be sending it as a gift to a very high profile individual. So we are going to show you a way how to dazzle people. This is a furoshiki, Japanese style of gift wrapping with textile. So I put these again in a diamond shaped fashion. I open the book and I'm going to tuck some of the fabric between pages. Then you fold, and this is called envelope style of wrapping. So you have a little bit of extra left here. You bring the two ends, make a knot, and then the extra piece from here, you're going to wrap it around the knot. It hides the mechanics, and you have an envelope. Then, to jazz it up even a little bit more, you can include a thank you card in here. Let's say that you're going to be doing a book signing and maybe you want to sell a box set, or you have a program that you're going to be selling as a VIP. Well, you can make a fabulous presentation like this, do your book signing, and you have it right next to you in your desk. You can rest assured that not only you're going to be making a statement, but people are going to engage into interaction with you to find out more. Let's say that you have a friend who is moving into a new home and you don't have a whole lot of money to spend in a housewarming present. Okay, be creative. Nobody likes cleaning. There's nothing sexy about cleaning, but you can make it fun. And this is true story. Recently went to Chicago, made a stop at the Symphony Hall, and I got this cleaning sponge that it has a retro look, like an old-fashioned cassette tape. And Bruce Springsteen is one of my iconic figures. I love good old Bruce Springsteen. So this one here, it says, spruce spring clean. And it's just a twist on something fun, part of American pop culture. And people aren't going to pay attention on how much was the sponge. It's just experience. It's something tangible. It's a memory from a trip that you did. You are showing mindfulness because you are thinking about your friend moving into a new home, and you're going to be looking like a rock star. So that's kind of on a flash some ways how to do the wow factor. I hope that you enjoy the presentation. Send some notes. Give me your idea of, or your version of the wow factor, and maybe attach some pictures to the Facebook page. I always love to see how people interpret the creativity that I bring into my segment. And I look forward connecting with you in the future. Much love and appreciation from charming New England. In New York, we have some questions here, so if you want to monitor that, and I'm happy to answer any concerns, questions, suggestions that you might have. Go for it.
And with that, wasn't that amazing? Um, so many different ideas, so many ways to be creative with wrapping. Can you imagine that? Why not take that little extra step to show your care and to just elevate a presentation? We have some comments from say beautiful, and that's you. You're dazzling. They say nice book. Thank you. And
Yes,
and
that's how we're going to be doing book launching and author's signature, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
and they say they love that cassette tape sponge. That's a
Yeah,
cool
take it up
idea.
close.
So you can see it right here. So that's fun. So one of the questions that we have is, what are your strokes for super light and easy birthday gift while traveling?
Okay, repeat the question again. What is?
What are your strokes for super light and easy birthday gift while traveling?
You have to start from the premises of who is the recipient, what lights them up. Because I always stress this out. There are three ways how to go about a gift, and two of them are not great. So I'm going to give you the do not do, and then you take it around with the rest. So there is the gift that you give it to the recipient just because you want to get off the hook. Maybe you are feeling obligated and you are like, oh, really? So you just go grab something, and that dragging gets reflected on the giving. So don't even bother, just skip the whole thing. Then the other way is that people might buy something, it might be good quality, it might be even expensive, but it has no mindfulness regarding the recipient. And actually, I was the recipient of a gift like that. So I have one of my recurring clients. She got this fabulous animal print, fluffy, expensive jacket, and it was sent out to her for her birthday. She looked at it, she loved it, but she said, "That's not my style. I am not gonna wear it. I appreciate the thought. I know that it's expensive, but never I'm going to wear it." Well, guess who came along and got the expensive gift third hand down? Your servant here. I love my animal print. I rock it. So I gladly took the gift. But that shows what I am referring to. Don't buy something just under the premise that it's expensive or it's a brand or if something flashy. If it doesn't speak to the heart of the recipient, you are not doing your job. So you can go for something simple. Let's say that the recipient is just crazy about cats. True story. I have one of my recurring clients. She is just over the moon into the next galaxy about cats. Well, I happened to be at a gift shop and I saw these super cool, kind of gothic, minimalistic cat figure earrings, very light, and I got it for her. So that was one of my gifts for her when I saw her. And she was so happy because she rocks her gothic. Her chant is death before anything ordinary. That became a chant for us as a friend. So I matched that bill. It's light. I didn't spend a whole lot, but it's something that she's very, very passionate about it. So I cannot give you a recipe for baking bread because that's not how wool facture works. What it's wooing for me, it's not going to do it for the next person over. And keep in mind, there's 8 billion people on the planet. So there's a lot of material for you to do the research and deliver wool factor. So if you give me a little bit more details of maybe what the person likes, or what's your budget, or are you going to a seasonal place? So there's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration, and I hope that helps the matter to your question.
Yes, it say it do.
Okay, great. What else in there?
You say there was a great presentation. Um, and and you doesn't.
Ooh, happy
Uh,
to hear. Yes, I am feeling accomplished. I deliver wow factor.
and I do have a question.
Yes,
I want to know about, let's retell about the power seed, the wow factor.
sure. So this is something that I doubt you're gonna find anywhere else in the universe because I came up with this. So I call it the magic potion and the power of seven. I love numerology, and I think that there's a lot to be said when you have things structured. It's not by chance, it's not by pure miracle or randomness. You need a structure. So, what I came up with is it has to be unexpected. That's critical part of the wow factor. Creativity, because there's nothing sexy about cookie cutter. Just stop that madness. If everybody's handing out hoodies, don't come up with another hoodie for the collection. Give away a tank top or, a gothic necklace or something. Just make a statement. Then the novelty, again, if everybody's doing the same thing, be creative and come up with something different. A way how to deliver novelty. If you are traveling, and this is true fact, I do this every single time. I am in the party mode. I'm the queen of parties. But I am all the time putting that vibration out to the universe. So when I go out and mind my own business through the day or I travel, I'm always paying attention what speaks to me that I'm going to buy in advance. I'm ready to go for the occasion, and you can rest assured that the occasion is going to manifest within weeks, and the recipient for that item is going to show up. So, like for example, and you don't need a whole lot of budget, that tape retro style of a sponge. I was in Chicago at the end of February, beginning of March. I went to a phone gift shop and I got loaded with gifts. I got the bookmark. Oops, we have flying objects. I got the sponge, and you are just putting that fun vibes already. So novelty, don't go to the same place like everybody else. Explore a little bit. Going to a museum gift shop, maybe explore one of the local merchants that they have like their own theme and specialty. So that's for novelty. Know the recipient. That is super critical. And this is not my phrase, I took it from somebody else. Do not offer meat to a vegan. That's pretty much a translation for know the recipient. You might love something, but if it doesn't speak to the heart of the recipient, you are not doing your job. If it's not something that it lights them up, don't bother because you are not going to accomplish anything. If anything, they might say, oh, more stuff that I don't use collecting dust in my house. You don't want to fall into that category. Then, charming presentation, that's critical. Again, multisensory experience, that is very important because then you are tapping into neuroscience, and that's a different art and that's a different topic. But everything that I do, it's neuroscience based. So trust the process and what I'm giving you here, and you're going to look like a rock star and you are going to make everlasting impressions. Then, attention to detail. For example, make sure that if you're going to be doing a gift wrap with textiles, the fabric is not wrinkled. The fabric, it doesn't have any stain. So that's what I mean on paying attention to details. Then generosity, and I cannot stress that one enough. And this is not my phrase, I got it from somebody else. You cannot plant seeds of scarcity and harvest in a forest of abundance. So generosity doesn't mean top dollars and cents. It means that you are putting the intention, and you are not going to be like, oh, I have to spend money in this, or oh, I have to do that. If you have that dragging mentality, you are just ruining the whole equation for the wow factor. So think about abundance and generosity, what it will make you happy, and how that translates to the recipient. And then to finish that, again, it's a multisensory experience. Because if, for example, you are gifting a book, well, the person is going to hold that book, is going to read that book. That book is going to stir up some thoughts in the brain, and they are receiving that item wrapped in a textile. They are feeling that. They are seeing the color combination that you are putting in place. So, any which way that you look at it, it's a multisensory experience. So, just think about those little bits and tips, and I'm sure that you're going to be looking like a rock star. And make sure that you look me up on Facebook, Ethnia Fusion by Nefertiti. I love to make friends, and I always love to hear how people apply what I share with the audience and how it gets increased your quality of life and the recipients of your gift. So, any other questions?
And no, they have more comments.
Oh, well, I want to hear them all.
They asking, well, they have one question. They're
Okay.
asking, when are you coming to San Luis?
Well, let's make that happen. We book a session, get some people in the same room, and we go and deliver some Wow Factor in San Luis. That it will be lovely. I love to travel.
Okay, and they want to put the factor list that you just made on the chat.
I'm sorry, say it again.
They want to put the factor list, the request that you put on the chat.
Oh, okay. Well, so you are in charge of the typing in there.
Okay, and then because it says too far to see, and it's a great quote. And you plan in scarcity, you won't harbor in abundance. Just to reaffirm that.
Yes, I'm happy to hear that it's sinking in. That's so important, especially at this time in human history. People are over the edge, overworked, underappreciated, maybe not well compensated. So just make sure that you deliver smiles and do it from the heart, and it's really heartfelt, because that's going to bring very good vibes and a lot of abundance. I get constantly showered with gift, to the point that a while back I was dating somebody, and he used to get actually bent out of shape because I was showered with gift all the times. And he's like, "What's up with that? It's not holidays. Holidays are over. It's not your birthday." He couldn't like let that sink in his brain that when you live generously, you get return generosity into your life. Needless to say, we didn't work out. I am on my merry way. He's on his merry way. And here I am delivering Wow Factor to the people that they are ready to receive it.
It wasn't the right person.
It wasn't the right person.
Okay. And with that, we end up the day. I know you got a surprise already. Round two.
Wow factor.
What
Yes, we go
factor?
generous.
So I want to say that please take the inspiration, take the little extra mile, and use your creativity. It doesn't have to cost a lot, uh, but it does make an impression.
Maybe we should do like a workshop. Look like $1 million with no budget.
I
Seriously, because I'm sick and tired of the name dropping and the brands, and people thinking that they need to have thousands of dollars to look good. No, you don't. I challenge that. So seriously, we should make a workshop around that topic.
Well, I challenge you. Put workshop in the comments, and we're going to make it happen. Um, we got the time, we got the availability, so let's just do it.
Sure.
Let's put it on the calendar right now.
Okay, well, go team go. I have a very good sportsmanship. So you say when, and I say yes, I arrange the calendar.
So definitely, if you are interested, put on the comments workshop. Wow, workshop.
Yeah, don't forget the Wow Factor workshop.
Well,
Yes.
and we make it happen. Okay, and with that, we leave you for the night, but please tune in tomorrow. And Nefertiti is going to be back with us.
Yes, I will be back, but for a different reason. So tomorrow I'm going to be talking about the science behind ikebana, which is one of my passions. And for those of you that are not familiar with the term ikebana, is the Japanese soothing art of floral design. So everything that I do is intertwined with neuroscience for a better living, a more sane environment, as well as better mental health. So I have another jam-packed session tomorrow for you, and I'm looking forward to that round too.
Okay, and I want to tell you something before we leave. Um, I hope that you learned something about this presentation, all the presentation I had before this one, is that creativity has no limits in the application that it has. How do you choose to apply is up to you, but it's something that we all capable of doing, and it can come very handy in life. It can, you know, elevate a present. It can elevate your life. It can become a business. It can become a hobby, and more than anything, it can make you happy. So let's create. Let's do that. And with that, it's a wrap.